everybody looks for different things in movies, and that's what makes entertainment in general great. You know, as much as I've ragged on somebody, as much as I've been waving my finger at these guys for not adding transfer. No, you know what? Fuck you. That is a legitimate point. Got him. Now, got him.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bric-a-bracket. Jacob has joined us, as you saw in the last episode.
Here for a full round this time.
And we're here. We're here at the main event, the final fight of round one, and it's a big one, folks. It is huge. We are talking Logan versus Ragnarok.
And to give you an idea of how huge it is, these are the two movies I like.
It's true. It's Jerry saying that.
Jerry, and hypocritical Jerry will return this round.
So, since you just joined us, Jacob, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I mean, I think they're both great. Like, Thor Ragnarok is probably the first one of the Thor series that I, like, thoroughly enjoyed from beginning.
Woohoo!
And then Logan, I mean, was how Wolverine, I think, should have been from the get-go. Like,
tearing motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, you know, like him
from
being,
the opening scene, just murder.
Exactly.
Just
like
absolute
like
murder.
Visceral wild man, you know. And,
And that's,
you know, they're good for different reasons. You know, Logan's more serious, kind of like that. It's like
it's the noir
adventure.
It's the noir style.
Yeah, you know, this new character starts their journey, and then Logan's kind of winding down on his, and then Thor is just good old fun, just like
it's just fun.
Yeah, just awesome. Like, you know, and even then it's still got its good moments, and Jeff Goldblum's in it, which is probably the kind of like tip
Jeff Goldblum finds a way.
Jeff finds a way. All right, any follow-up points, gents?
Let's see. Well, you know, we talked earlier in round one about the struggles Deadpool 2 had in attempting to balance humor and seriousness. I think Logan is probably the most. I would say Logan is probably the best example of a superhero film going, you know what? Fuck it. You know, we're going full seriousness. There is a little.
There's like one-liners
here and there.
There's
little dabbles here and there,
pepper.
but like I had my doubts of the ability of Fox Studio to put out because the whole concept of the film stems from the comic series Old Man Logan.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I had my doubts that they could live up to that kind of thing. Holy shit, was I wrong?
Yeah.
Because like you said, from minute one of Logan, Wolverine doesn't give a fuck.
Man,
like,
he's in there.
I mean, like like he's trying to sleep in his goddamn taxi cab.
He's like, don't do it. He's like, don't do it.
And four of the stupidest / unluckiest gang members to ever attempt to steal tires off a car just so happened to pick Wolverine's cab.
Yep.
And he was trying to be cool about it. God bless him. He was trying to be chill about it. Be like, guys, you really don't want to bet. You don't want to.
He tried. He was like, don't fucking. Do
and then they tried to beat him over. Didn't they try to beat him over like a pipe or something?
Yeah, they hit him over the head with a pipe and knocked him down.
And he got up and
he's like, like he was almost upset that he had to get mad.
Like, well,
Dude, like, come on.
Now I have to do this. And man, like, and just, you know.
You stupid mother.
Yeah, just, you know. But, you know, a lot can be said just about the violence of Logan, because Lord knows it uses violence, you know, very powerfully. It's not just for gore, and Lord knows gore is there.
So I think that's a good point that I actually forgot to bring up about Deadpool, is there are a lot of kind of like violent and gory things in both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2.
Sure.
But it kind of you don't really think about it, because I mean that's Deadpool.
Yeah,
and in Logan, even though that's Logan, like it's the right move for his character. I think because they had never done it before, really to that extent. Yeah. It's like, holy shit, this is freaking violent. It's bloody. It's gory, but it's good.
It is good.
Like,
it's
Logan.
fantastic. It's done well. It's done right.
Yeah. And just because I want to make sure I get a chance to juxtapose the two films, one thing that I think is really a very curious thing about these two films is you look at what the Thor franchise had done up to that point. The Thor franchise could be said tried too hard in the first two films. I would argue that the Thor films are more serious than the other early MCU films. I would say that.
Sure.
It's just my opinion, of course.
For sure.
But like those films are super duper serious, and
peppering.
with Thor Ragnarok, they decided, hey, why don't we let Thor have a little fun for a change?
That's what
and you know
I know
what?
what
It
you're
was
thinking.
it was a real breath of fresh air. They kind of almost gave that Thor Ragnarok almost got kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy almost kind of
Absolutely.
level of humor to it, which I actually
Absolutely.
appreciated.
Yeah.
And on the same token, you have Logan, which is, I mean, I'm not going to say the X-Men films weren't serious because, they were, but, you have a film like Logan that decided, let's just put all our chips in the drama basket and see what we get out of it.
Yeah.
You have a tale of two franchises that kind of, decided to switch things up a bit, and it paid off brilliantly for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
for
really
sure,
did. And we're almost at a loss for words.
Yeah, because it's just what else could you like just seeing like with Logan seeing 90-year-old Xavier and the issues he's having and the fact that he
It was almost heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
that
To watch.
especially near the at when he gets killed by X-24
and
like
the speech, the
when
little
he's just
speech he
talking
gives,
and he's
oh
just
my
telling
God.
it like I almost forgot what I did, and now that I remember, it's just a heartbreak. And
Yeah.
I have to say I enjoyed that Xavier more than, and not to say that he didn't do a good job. Patrick Stewart is Patrick Stewart.
Oh.
I loved how he was. Like I think he got to be the right Xavier, and the same as Logan finally got to be who he was, who he really is at his nature. I love the whole thing when he finally gets him to take his pills and like he's like, let me see the pills. He's like, it was great.
He was like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like that stubborn old grandpa at the nursing home. It's exactly what he was.
Exactly.
And and they did that whole thing of that when he introduced us to that family that took them in for the night and stuff like that. He's like, this is my father. It's like there was more implications of that. It's like,
Oh yeah.
this
It's my
really
father.
was his father.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is the guy that
Took care of him.
Took care, like brought him in, helped him remember things that he didn't remember. Like just gave him all that information. Like nurtured him into who he became. And near the end, it was getting really bad for him and all that stuff. But seeing that emotional attachment that he basically, it's like the torturous past that the love that he had for Professor X, he actually puts into his daughter. And just seeing that, like, such a great job. Like,
I think Ragnarok gave us the best Hulk we've ever seen.
well, yeah, I mean,
sure,
let's
yeah.
be real.
Yeah.
The best
I don't know.
on-film Hulk we've ever seen was in Ragnarok.
it was good. I still,
Don't throw stuff.
just and then all the
You're not
characters in that
going
were good.
nowhere.
I mean, we get a different Hulk, different type of Hulk, and I like to see the path they're going with that. They're bringing in the more of. It's not just a mindless rage monster anymore. It's like he's starting
just growing up.
and I like the idea that Hulk isn't as old as Banner. Because it's basically like it is two separate individuals, and now that he had basically 2 years to grow, that's why he's able to have the speech now. He's developing the emotions and stuff like that. It's not just the rage.
I'm just
It's
rage.
yeah. He's now developing into a separate person, which is why that there's the theory. The whole thing of why he doesn't appear in Infinity War, why he doesn't come out. It's one theory is that he's tired of fighting for Bruce for Bruce.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm done. Like you need to fight your own battles. Like
Like every time you fuck up and you
I
bring
gotta
me,
save
I
you.
gotta save your ass just because I don't want to die.
yeah.
Damn.
And that people was like, he never did that before because he was just a rage monster, and that so he wanted to preserve his life. But now that he's just like,
He's like, wait a minute.
it's like
don't have to
you
do
can
this.
handle it. Just I'm not
Think
gonna
your way out of this, bro.
Yeah,
You're so smart.
yeah.
It's like teamwork. Just you got this, man.
I'm gonna play my
Just
defenders.
yeah. Ragnarok is just. I like seeing that.
Bottom line, both movies are awesome.
Odin. I think Odin has one of the best lines. He's like when Thor's talking to him near the end. He's just like, but I don't have my hammer. How am I supposed to be? He's like, who are you?
The god
Thor,
of
the god of
hammers.
hammers.
That was a
It's
great
like,
one.
it was beautiful. Like just
Thor, god of hammers.
just seeing Unleash.
Yeah. Oh man.
Unleash Thor was just
nuts.
It is
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great scene. I just love just the leap right into that pile of undead monsters. Just
Yeah, and then,
And then the Raiden spin.
the Raiden spin, and then the combo meter burn where he just destroys like
Literally
5
a
creatures
video
with a
game.
lightning bolt. Yeah, just
Yeah.
the whole like soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks.
easily.
The only ones that come close are the Guardians movies, but that's because
They're just
you
using
know, they're
the
using
80s.
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
We're gonna start with Thor first because I got quite a bit on my mind about Logan that I'm gonna try to get on. I haven't formulated yet. So my opinion on Thor movies at this point are well documented.
Quite so, quite so.
You know, discouraged and not really smiled upon by certain circles in this table. But so I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna skip Thor Ragnarok. I was not gonna watch Thor Ragnarok. The only reason I ended up watching Thor Ragnarok is because my brother bought a 4K TV and invited me to watch Ragnarok. And I really wanted to see that 4K
Saw it
TV.
in 4K.
What I'm trying to say is at this point I was more interested in 4K TV than I was. So I went to see Thor Ragnarok on the 4K TV. And and at first I thought it was just a 4K TV fucking with me because I started realizing I was enjoying this movie. And I was blaming the 4K, but
Wow,
man,
these
4K is awesome. I
It makes
enjoy
Thor
Thor.
good.
But no, Thor Ragnarok is you know how we're talking about how I told you Thor was the lazy river? Thor Ragnarok is not roller coaster I want, but it's not a roller coaster of emotion. It's just a roller coaster of fun, where it's just like fun,
Oh,
a
yeah.
little less fun, more fun, a little less fun. Woo!
You are
The entire
now
thing is
going-
woo!
You are now going to meet the
It's
Grandmaster.
like, I know. Now I know you like the first two Thor movies, so I'm just saying this as a general thing. But it's like the man who directed Thor Ragnarok looked at the first two Thor movies and decided people want something different.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, no.
maybe not necessarily because it's Thor, but just in general, people just want something different. So let's just take a chance. Thor is a character we can take a chance with. Because if we change Captain America, if we change Iron Man, you know, people are going to flip their lids.
Yeah, those are cornerstones.
Thor, because the Thor movies weren't universally loved, even though it does have its people, you know, we can have some fun with the formula with Thor, and quite frankly, and then you look at Guardians of the Galaxy and how it was successful doing its own thing.
Right,
They adapted that to Thor Ragnarok, and it fucking worked. You know, here comes hypocrisy, Jerry. You know how I was talking about how I'm kind of not the big Loki as a villain fan? I love Loki and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Thor Ragnarok
was amazing.
That scene where Hulk beats the crap out of Thor and Loki's just like, yes, how does that feel? Excellent.
That's what that feels like.
Just a side note, when you mentioned like they said they wanted to they felt like this director wanted to switch up.
Yeah.
There's a reason there was a large gap between Dark World and Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
It wasn't just for story purposes. It was they were trying to figure out what they
to
needed to
do.
do to get Thor on track.
They took a
And,
huge gamble.
vitalize
Director,
Thor.
only did, like,
And you know, and you're talking about the soundtrack. The scene where they do it at the beginning of the movie where I'm horrible with my mythology. Sutar, and they play Immigrant Song where he's doing the battle, and that's fucking great, but it does not compare
Yeah, I
to
was
him
like,
going,
cool.
him landing on the bridge with Immigrant Song playing, all the minions.
I was like,
Piling up,
that's where it
throwing up
needed to be used, and they're like,
And-
oh, man,
and
it
it-
fucking
And that
worked.
scene,
yeah, it was
and
great.
I say this without any hyperbole, that is probably one of the best scenes in the MCU universe.
Yes.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
hands
yeah,
down.
yeah.
I don't think there's.
The only one better involves Thor, and that's his entrance in Infinity War. Like,
Which would have been made
That's
better.
true.
Which would have been made better.
You know,
if
actually, you need to look it up.
I did see
Somebody,
it.
okay,
I did see it.
somebody actually did.
But that whole bridge scene was
Nice.
awesome. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the dynamic between Loki is awesome. And I'm horrible with names, but the Valkyrie,
It's Valkyrie.
Is
Just
it Valkyrie?
just
Yeah, I
Valkyrie.
think it's Valkyrie.
him and his dynamic with her is awesome.
Yes.
Oh, There's one to be a Valkyrie. They were all.
Ella's a fun villain, played
Yes.
by an amazing actress.
Yes, she was.
Oh,
Ella's so good.
Yeah.
Ella is hella good.
Let's talk about a villain done right. Hella.
That's smashed.
Just-
Ella's done good. The whole
I mean,
Thor battle
come on.
is just good fun.
Yeah, it was what it is.
Oh yeah.
It's
It was
finally
exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, it was a hash
and it was
out.
fun.
And Chris Hemsworth is just nailing it. Thor. He's having
Yes.
the time of his life.
Oh, you can
And
tell.
you can tell
Oh,
about
yeah,
that. Ruffalo's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Goldblum's having the Goldblum time of his life.
Goldblum's just Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Just Goldblum.
movie,
It's
he's
like,
just
just do what you
Goldblum.
want to do. Just
Finds a
be you,
way.
man.
It's
You're
main
Goldblum.
event time. Everybody's just having the time of their life, and the film's fun, but the film just adds so much to the Thor character,
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
beyond being fun, and that deserves credit as well as the fun this movie is. This movie
Right.
deserves that credit for doing so much for the Thor character, doing so much for the Loki character.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you know,
Yeah.
doing so much for both
For
of them.
Hulk.
You know, doing so much for Hulk.
In my
Doing a lot
opinion.
for Hulk. You know,
Yeah.
watching Hulk punch Fenrir, is it? The wolf?
No,
Fenrir,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Fenrir.
Yeah.
Fenrir. You know, this is the Thor. Like,
was
I didn't
good.
know I wanted this Thor movie. This is the Thor movie I wanted.
Oh, yeah,
And I didn't even know it until I watched it on
Yeah.
4K TV.
That's important.
I'm telling you, the 4K added 0.5 to my excitement. That's a very important 0.5. You know, as much as I rag on the first two Thor films, I would put this Thor Ragnarok up there with the best of the MCU films.
Absolutely.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
without
great
a doubt.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with that said,
Here we go.
okay, this is where we're gonna look. Everybody looks for different things in movies, and that's what makes entertainment in general great. You know, as much as I've ragged on somebody, as much as I've been waving my finger at these guys for not adding plot transfer. No, you know what? Fuck you. That is a legitimate point. Got him. Now, got him. But you know, I can understand why I don't care for Thor. I can totally legitimately respect and appreciate that he does. You know, I don't. I have no. I may eventually go see it, but I had no interest going into X-Men Apocalypse. I appreciate and respect that you went to go see it and you got something out of it. You know, I appreciate and respect all of this. So with that said, I enjoy darker movies.
Yeah.
I just do. Darker movies,
For sure.
bleak, dramatic movies. I mean, I appreciate comedies. It's like one of my favorite films of all time is a comedy, but even that is a dark comedy. Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb by Stanley Kubrick.
Oh man,
I absolutely love that film.
that is
It's a
bleak.
it's a bleak, but it's a comedy, but it's a bleak, dark comedy.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Logan, I would put Logan up against the top tier MCU films, and quite frankly, I would
Yeah.
put it over many of them.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean, that's just a good film standalone.
you know, Logan is just a great film. And Dark Knight's one of my favorite comic book films. And even with the Dark Knight, some people will still say it's a great comic book film.
Mhm.
Logan's a great film.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
remove
Yeah.
comic out of it.
You can
Logan's a
remove
great
superhero.
film.
You can remove comic. You
The
can
more
remove X-Men.
it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
bleak.
a
Oh, yeah.
great.
It's
for
bleak,
sure.
it's
film.
dreary, but there are hints of hope in it. It's not dreary without hope.
It's exactly the amount of hope you need to have a good movie
And
to
the
have
hope
the hero
and the
press
hope
on.
is and the
Right,
hope
right.
is earned. The hope that doesn't Deus Machina appear. Hope
Yeah,
is earned.
Oh no, it's there from the beginning.
But it's earned through blood, it's earned through violence,
yeah,
it's
it's
earned
nurtured.
through journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a journey, you know. You know, it's the Western motifs, the soundtrack.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it kind of has a No Country for Old Men feel from the Coen brothers at times.
Yes.
You know, and I'm getting kind of out there with this, I admit. But the point is, this
No,
film
Last
is
of
hitting
Us.
all the notes.
Yeah,
I look
like,
Last of Us.
like,
Yeah.
The film hits a lot of notes that I look for in my movies, and I
I'm
don't
with
always get out of comic book movies.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think Hugh Jackman deserved all the nominations he did not get.
Yeah.
For Logan.
With
Yeah.
Logan.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
was.
God.
The screenplay got nominated for awards, and it totally deserved every nomination it got, and it probably should have won some of them. This is one of the best. And I'm going to say comic book because I am referring to comic book genre. This is one of the best
Sure.
comic book screenplays I have ever watched
Oh, yeah.
unfold.
Yeah.
Logan is just an impactful movie to me, but it was the Wolverine movie I was looking for.
Yeah.
Like I've always liked Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
I've not
He was
always
a
liked
great
every movie.
choice.
I have not always liked every movie Wolverine. in.
Right.
Sure, but
Yeah.
he was a perfect.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but perfect choice.
Yeah.
You
for
know,
Wolverine.
Patrick
He
Stewart
really was.
and Patrick Stewart watching Patrick Stewart suffer, and
Again, with the heartbreak.
with the heartbreak, the severity and heartbreak he brings to that role cannot be understated, and it's impressive.
Yes.
And it also deserves recognition. The girl who plays the girl.
X-23.
X-23. I can't, and I
Yeah,
can't
I
remember
don't
the
know
actress
the
name.
actress's
You know,
name.
she,
can't remember who she
you know,
is.
child actors can be so 50-50,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she nails it.
She crushed
She
like,
crushes it.
Yeah.
The violence from her.
Well,
is-
even then, her facial reactions to everything
and her
were
screams and her.
were spot on because like when they first come to get her,
when
she's just eating
so
the cereal.
mad. Yeah. Or and
It's-
she's like the.
And she just like she's at first doesn't
Whatever.
care, sees them coming in, she just
Yeah.
starts getting slower and just staring at the screen and just when they come in, she's just like, you know,
Alright.
just,
I mean,
You're
the
interrupting
only-
my
the-
frosted
the-
flakes.
The only negative, and when I say negative, I put it in quotes because
my bad.
I only put the negative in quotes because it's not negative to me. That if you're mainly an MCU universe watching person, and then you switch to Logan, it's gonna smack you in the face.
It's very jarring.
Yeah.
It is very
yeah.
jarring. It's a different departure. It's a departure from everything. I love it.
Yeah,
Oh, me
yeah.
too.
I mean, Ragnarok's great, and unlike some of the other rounds where I kind of ragged on the films, I have no ragging on Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's great, and if Ragnarok was put in any other bracket, I probably would be saying it wins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
without a
But
doubt.
it's going up against Logan.
Yep.
And
Toughest
Logan,
round.
and Logan
Right here.
is one
Toughest
of
round.
my top comic book films. It was one of my top films of the year period when it came
Yeah.
out. Logan, I would just put Logan up against a lot of my favorite comic book films, and I will have to pause and really dig deep to decide which ones I prefer.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say about Logan.
Yeah. I'm glad you touched on this because I can't remember who it was I heard make the comment about it. Hell, it might have been you in one of our conversations because you and I saw that film together. You know, I heard the praise lauded towards Logan of someone said Logan is the best Western film in years. And I mean it's like, you know, it starts subtly at first because, you know, it has references to that classic Western film Shane, because that's the film that they're watching in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, while I have not seen that film myself, my understanding is it could be argued that the journey they go through is not unlike the journey that is reflected in that film. Would you agree with that, Jerry?
I'm trying to remember so long since I watched Shane. They don't really go much for a journey in Shane as much as Shane doesn't want to fight.
Oh.
In Shane doesn't, but he's trying to protect his family, and he's forced to fight.
Which I think is a good mirror for what Logan goes through in that film.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be left alone.
He wants to be
with
left the
Pro
fuck
X.
alone.
Like,
And
yeah.
referring back to the scene of him just sleeping in his fucking cab. Like, man, just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I'm tired of stabbing and killing people. Okay, I guess I'm stabbing and killing people.
All right,
And
fuck
just,
it.
and just to finish off before I totally hijack the entire chat for minutes longer, Logan had to die.
Yeah.
There
Absolutely.
is no other ending. Logan had to die, you know, because sacrifice. There's something tragically beautiful in sacrifice.
Yeah.
He died so the others may hopefully have a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
That tomorrow is not guaranteed, but the tomorrow there is a chance.
Yes.
I think that we had a rare instance of a movie ending exactly how it should have ended.
Yeah.
Exactly the perfect beginning, middle, and end for that movie. And you get a complete, satisfying experience out of Logan. Period.
And quite frankly, I'm glad Logan wasn't an MCU film.
Me too.
Because you could not have had this film in the MCU.
No.
Oh, well.
I mean, an R-rated,
So I'm so glad.
violent movie like
So
that.
I just want to share a couple things Sage added in the chat here. Funny, he mentioned, you know, we talked about the Western, and he mentioned, like, now I kind of want a Red Dead Logan film. That would be
Rudy Shooty Logan Tootie.
There you
That
go.
did not work. That did not work. I'm
Also,
sorry.
I actually had not known this, but apparently similar to in the same way that Mad Max Fury Road got the black and chrome edition where they released it in grayscale.
Yeah.
Apparently there is actually a digital
I
version of
have it.
Logan called
It's
Logan
Noir.
Noir.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
I have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
Oh,
That'd be cool. I need to watch that.
That would be
Yeah,
that would be
good.
awesome.
It
That would
is
be awesome.
super good.
Yeah, I
But
need
you
to
know,
watch.
it's funny. A couple other things about Logan that I wanted to bring up. One, you know, we brought up how, you know, the sadness of seeing Professor Xavier the way he was. Although, funny enough, one of his first lines, I have to admit, actually made me laugh. Because he's like, try the double chalupa
Yeah,
box at Taco Bell.
that
Try
was
it with
hilarious.
chicken. Try it with steak. And for some reason, I thought that shit was fucking
It
hilarious.
was. No, it was
great, yeah.
hilarious.
But then you find out real
And
quick
then it was
why
like,
he's doing that, because he's kind
now
of...
it's sad.
It's like because he's senile.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's why he has the
And he's
medicines. But there was
taking
one...
the pills.
Sorry, Jerry. Go. You
No,
have
no,
a
go
point.
ahead. I think that, I mean, for the record, you're totally valid in finding that scene funny. But because I watched my great-grandmother go through that, the minute he did that line, I knew immediately what was happening. And
Right.
it hit me quicker than it might
it's
hit
like,
other people.
Well,
It's like,
that's
oh.
the thing.
Oh.
You knew what was happening. Once we found out it was happening, it was that jarring bring back down to reality. That's like, oh, this isn't funny.
Yeah.
This is
They
serious.
pulled a
and he's-
reverse Deadpool on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
But it
wasn't-
worked.
yeah.
And it was the right way to do it.
You know, because
we talked
Deadpool
about
would do it. It would
Deadpool.
be. It would
He was
be
like,
a,
"Oh, I'm done. Oh, it's so hard to go." Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, we get it.
yeah.
You know.
Whereas this one was, it was
It's like,
very funny, and then all of a sudden it's like,
oh,
it's
this
not.
is not.
No.
This is actually a major
It was-
serious thing.
Yeah, it was really
And
funny until it wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like that. It's like the roller coaster analogy. You know, it's the drop. It's that you felt your stomach drop out because you're like, you realize like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's actually having issues right now.
Yeah.
But we've talked about the lines. Like when in our Civil War discussion, we talked about some of the lines that really hit us hard. I remember a line that Xavier hits Logan with pretty early on, and I think some of you may remember it. But after he gives him his meds and leaves him in the dome, the last thing he says to Wolverine before he, at least for that scene, was, "What a disappointment you are."
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus!"
It's like stab me in the heart, why don't you?
But Daniel, you brought up how the scene where we got introduced to that family that took them in for the evening after they helped them with the horses and whatnot. It's actually that's I feel like that's the what happens with that family is a symptom of the curse of being Logan and being Wolverine. Is that we go back to the referring to the themes of Shane of a man who doesn't want to fight anymore, but he has to. And the curse of being Logan and the curse of being Wolverine is no matter what you do, or no matter when you're Wolverine, when you're Logan, no matter what you do, you will always have to fight, and the people you love will die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
People around you.
Yes, and I feel like that even makes his sacrifice at the end of the film even more meaningful, because that was the moment when he decided, no one else is dying on my behalf anymore. This is the one I'm taking.
And his last line is like, this is what it feels like.
Yes.
That's just so gut-wrenching. But I mean, of course, people have their like, I believe that he's actually talking about death. I don't know what everyone. There are some people who think that it has to do with love, but I feel like it has to do with
his
death.
daughter there.
That, and it goes to the point that everything else around him is dying. No matter how much everything that he loves, at some point has died just because of what he is. Like
he watches death everywhere around him.
Yeah.
Whether it's at his hands directly or not.
Yeah.
He watches death all around him. So I think you're right on that. I think that's the way I interpreted it when I saw it. He's like, this is what death feels like.
A couple times.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a pet peeve, but near the end of Logan, there's the whole thing where all the mutant kids are running from the guys with metal arms. It's like, you kids are mutants.
I will defend it by saying fear is a powerful motivator.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're kids.
And
is the other.
And these guys, who knows what they have gone through up to this point. I get what you're saying, and I have the same thought, like fear.
Kill them.
And to be fair, at the end they did.
They do.
yeah. Once Logan gets there and Laura gets there, like, but the one that's weird is that Laura is running. Like, Laura already proved that she could kill anything she wanted to without any issue. But
I think that
she was
speaks
running.
to her character development as Logan being a father figure, trying to teach her you don't always have to fight. You don't always have to kill everything around you. That's what he's trying to, because he, like you said, when you're Logan, when you're Wolverine, you have to always fight. He's trying to make the future better by showing his child that you don't always have to fight.
Although
there
Although I also want to bring in a comment from Sage, because he actually had a comment on what I said about the whole Curse of Logan concept, and I find this approach interesting, and I get where he's coming from. He says I hate that, the Curse of Logan. It's such bullcrap. It might be how Logan feels, but I would have liked it more if they proved that he's just putting emphasis on the bad. And let's face it, for a good portion of this film, Logan is one grumpy old fucker, for sure. And he is, but at the same time, it's like, for some of the shit he's seen, I can understand why he is.
Well, I think it's ultimately it's Logan's film. It's a film about Logan. It's from his perspective, so that's why that's what we got, because it is his film. It's from his perspective.
Yeah.
This is how he sees the world, because to him, perception is reality, and
the world is a bleak, cruel place. Everybody he's known, regardless of how he feels, is either dead or dying. Because for these two films, I think negatives for both these films are a matter of taste.
Yes.
And what's negative for someone, what's a negative for someone might be a strength for other.
See, and I think they're both of these films. There's not anything that comes to mind anyway that I can say this was handled poorly. There's not really anything I can think of that say, they didn't do that right.
Negative, really.
No, they're both well directed.
Like there's
one pet peeve I have. There's one pet peeve I have with Ragnarok, and it has to do with Loki. Loki does the same shit over and over
Yeah.
and over
Yeah.
again.
And he's like, here we are again, brother.
Yeah, because he, it's exactly what he does. Like, he splits off, and then he's like,
It's like, come on.
But this
Loki.
time, yes, Thor was ready for it in comparison to all the other times you've
where
seen
he
them together
actually
where
fell
he
for
fell
it.
for it. Like, to me, that was just a little like, come on, guys, like, we always see this.
Yeah. Well,
Why?
With any luck, maybe we're done with that.
His character's turned.
And
Man,
I swear, if I
Man,
watch
he
the
did.
sequel to Infinity War and someone
If
turns
he's
into
still up to
Loki,
some
I'm gonna
shit,
get up and I'm gonna get him I'm gonna get him walk out and scream at the first vendor I see and get kicked out of the theater.
Man, what's the matter with you? I say he did.
I'm gonna walk out and this guy go, oh no, he just saw Loki. Run, guy! Here comes Jerry! Here he comes! Here he comes!
You should wear that shirt that Eli made that says Loki lives ? And just be like,
No!
no!
As long as they keep low key, maybe I'll laugh a little bit better.
That's
But
Loki.
I've been waiting so long to use that. Fuck you, it's funny. But
There are always men like you, Jerry.
there have always been.
There are no men.
You know what? We have a full 5 here.
We do.
We do.
So,
We have full round and full tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Are we ready for the vote?
One
Yeah.
other quick thing, and I think Sage made a good point also in the chat, and I think it summarizes the struggle I have with this bracket. And I think that's also what makes it challenging and what makes it interesting is that it's really hard to compare the two films because they're going for two completely different vibes.
Yeah.
He said often drama is put over comedy, and that's unfortunate. And it does bear mentioning that something being a comedy film doesn't inherently make it of lesser value than something that's dramatic.
it's true, but it also may not be what I'm looking for more.
Yeah. At that point, again, as you already said, it becomes a matter of taste rather
It
than
matter of taste. So going by matter of taste. But while drama is often good to comedy, that doesn't automatically mean the drama isn't better.
Very
Sometimes
true.
the drama may
Very
still be
true.
better. There's a lot of melodramatic, piss poor drama out there.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also some lot of slapstick, second-hand, heavy-handed,
lowbrow
comedy. And sometimes it could be a mood. Like I know what I'm going to vote for today, but if I but let's say we did this vote 2 weeks from now, and no, I'm lying. I still vote for the same thing. But okay, I'll give you. But let's say let's say there's a comedy I really like and a drama I really like. That's not this category.
Right.
There could be times, or depending on the day, I go to my movie drawer or Netflix and decide what I want to watch, and one will win over the other. As much as I prefer one of these films over one, and I know which film it is, there's some days I might prefer to watch Thor Ragnarok because I really need to pick me up.
Well,
It's
we're
like
coming down to the
music.
vote. If there's the vote of which one do I want to watch,
Like,
what I
you got
want
a
to watch
TV,
right
you
now. If
gotta
I had a
pick.
TV and the two in front of me, I had a decision last night.
And what did
and-
you watch?
I watched Logan. And I've seen them both equally enough. And I choose Logan. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
such.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful. That's the word.
Yeah.
It hits you.
All right.
Jacob?
Man. Well, honestly, I've seen Thor more, but that's because Logan is like dark.
Yeah.
So as much as I like dark movies, like I don't watch those on a regular basis because like
Your soul can only take me so much.
it's too real sometimes. So
Yeah.
I'd vote Logan, because like that's just a good film, and then there wasn't enough Jeff Goldblum, I think.
So that's our negative for Thor.
Yeah.
Not enough Jeff Goldblum. That's your note. You get an A, just a standard A,
Yeah.
not an A plus. You get an A, not enough Jeff Goldblum. You get
Not
a
enough.
97
We
out of
need
100.
a bit more of that Goldblum bloom.
Just a little
A little bit more Goldblum, you might have
You need
pushed
to
that
bloom
to
that gold.
Exactly.
You need to bloom that gold a little bit more.
bonus
Yeah.
Goldblum points.
Just like one more
Could've
minute.
pushed
of
you
it.
over the. Oh, so close.
If he had said it's
So
main
close,
event
Thor.
time one more time.
Take to the skies. Find my champion.
Brian,
Brian.
what did you go for?
Oh man. Like I love
Toughest
both of those
fight.
films so much. Like they're
Yeah.
both so good. Like I can Thor Ragnarok is just a nice spin on the Thor franchise and just a nice change of pace. Again, I'm definitely with Jacob. I loved Hela. I thought Hela was a wonderful villain.
Yes.
I feel like Hela was the start of the Marvel's figured out the villain thing, chain, because you had back to back. You had Hela, you had Thanos, you had Killmonger. Well, I mean, I didn't say they would all be perfect, but I'm saying that like it started a
when you
trend.
thought it was good, Ant-Man and Wasp came out.
I'd rather have no
I mean,
villain
I get why he
than
did
John
it.
Hammer and Whiplash.
Yeah,
again.
that is kind of
But you know,
What about Whiplash?
I said I'd rather have no villain than John Hammer and Whiplash again.
Yeah. Yeah.
when it comes to me in movie theaters, it is exceedingly rare for me to go see a film in theaters twice.
Yeah.
I could probably count on one hand the amount of films I've seen in theaters twice in the last like 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
When I sit and I think about it, the original Avengers was one. The Force Awakens was one.
Hell yeah.
Trying to think.
Suck it, nerds.
Skyfall was one. The 007
I think
film.
Skyfall is very underrated. Just
I
going to put a little
Skyfall.
footnote over there.
Skyfall might be the
Very
best Bond
underrated.
film of the Daniel Craig era, if I'm being completely honest.
I'll give you
Without
that.
a doubt.
Yeah.
But that's again another conversation.
Another bracket,
another day.
another
Um,
bracket.
But
Never
Oh,
watched the,
man.
but I said that there were
Timothy
only.
Dalton forever. I'm sorry.
Get out.
No,
Why would you say that when there's...
To be fair, at least you didn't say George Lazenby. That could have been worse.
And actually,
That's right, obscure Bond.
No, I know it's pretty
there's actually a worse pick than that though, because there's the made for TV Casino Royale film too.
Oh yeah.
That exists.
yeah.
That
I
exists.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ooh,
sorry,
but anyway,
we got off topic there.
I talked about how there were those films that were among the only films I've seen twice in the last few years. Logan was another one.
Yeah.
I do think it is unfortunate that drama often by default goes over comedy. The one thing I would say to that is Frank Miller's Sin City was dramatic too. Thor Ragnarok is so much better than that film. Although I didn't. It's not that I disliked Sin City. It's just that if I had my choice, I would watch Thor Ragnarok more. But now I'm getting off on a tangent. Logan's not just a great comic book movie. It's just a great movie. I would pick Logan.
Yeah.
Alright. I was gonna say Jerry already voted.
we know I'm
I'm pretty
He
sure.
said it, but he didn't say it, but he said
But let me put the fine point on it. Dark Knight, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Logan. That's my pantheon.
Sage
So-
actually just made an interesting point. He says you don't need a villain to have a good superhero.
That's,
You don't.
You don't.
And you don't. You
And-
don't.
And,
I was like,
and I
Logan
think
proved that.
that's-
There wasn't...
I feel like the only real villain in
villain.
Logan is his own past and
Yeah.
himself.
So, I will say, final points. Thor Ragnarok is absolutely my favorite Thor movie. I
without a doubt.
don't really care for Dark World. The first Thor I like a little better than Dark
I like the
World,
director.
but
Kind of
Thor Ragnarok is a lot of fun. I've seen it probably about 5 times in total.
I've seen it 3 at least.
It makes me genuinely laugh every time, and that's hard to do on a movie you watch over and over again. It's hard to still get that genuine laugh
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
out of it. And there's still genuine awesome fight scenes, as we've brought up. Logan, and this might be why drama takes over comedy more often than not, is when something speaks to your soul and it hits you a little harder. Like, comedy is great. It's good for the soul. It lasts, but it doesn't really stay with you like that. When you have drama and you have, you know, the gut wrenching, like, oh my god, like, he is in bad shape. Like, oh, I really feel for him. I'm talking about Professor X specifically.
Yeah.
Right.
And even Logan, like, man, he is going through some shit. Like, it stays with you, I think, a little more.
Yeah.
And I have seen Logan also 5 times, I think. Honestly, as much as I hate to do this to Thor Ragnarok, because Thor Ragnarok deserves better than this, but it got in the wrong bracket.
Yeah.
The randomizer
It got a
killed
bad
it,
draw.
and it drew the shortest straw of all. So I think by a shutout victory,
Yeah.
I vote for Logan. Logan.
Saints says Taika
The one
Waititi
Fox
is
got right.
disappointed in all of you. He's not mad. He's just disappointed.
I'm sorry.
I will say this:
I can't
every
argue.
movie on here that did not deserve a clean sweep fate, it was Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
It
That's so
absolutely
true.
didn't. That's why I want to say it did not.
Yeah.
So with that, we have round 1 in the books. and still no Black Panther. Black Panther still hasn't made it on that bracket. So
I just want to say how disappointed I am in everyone in this process, including me, because I forgot to fucking vote.
see, if you had voted, Black Panther would have been on
Dude,
here.
if I voted, my vote counts twice. Jerry privilege.
Yeah.
So, with round 1 in the books, round 2 begins with Winter Soldier versus Thor, and
I
then
think I
Civil
can
War
tell you how the
versus
second
Logan.
half is gonna go.
That Winter Soldier versus Thor. Can we just record that right now?
After everything we just went through.
All right, that wraps it up for round 1. Thank you for watching.